did you discover Osher?
Well, I was lucky enough to discover Osher through a friend of mine, Virginia Morris, who um, who I met through the Geisel Medical School. So my husband and I, with our young son and our dog, moved up here a few years ago from Virginia Beach. My husband is a Navy veteran, and he's now in medical school. He's in his third year. So we moved to Dartmouth so that he could attend medical school. And at first, when we moved here, I was having sort of a hard time connecting with the wine world. The restaurant industry here is not quite as powerful as in a lot of areas. And I met Virginia, and she recommended that I look at Osher courses. And I didn't know if I would be qualified. I didn't know much about it. I sent an email and got just really great response and super helpful information about how to design a course proposal. And yeah, so I just went ahead and did it, and it was a great experience last semester. So.
And how did you choose to be a sommelier?
I am blessed to have grown up with parents who love to travel and love to travel with their children. And we went, on wonderful trips through Europe, and I was always allowed to taste, wines and foods and different things, and just was really encouraged by my parents. And in college, I started to work with a wine vendor, just to, kind of have some extra spending money. And it really was part of my identity from a really young age. So food and wine and travel and communication and sharing meals were, important things in my family. And when I started to affiliate with the CMS, the Court of Master Sommeliers America, I managed to pass some exams, and that kind of, kept me going and provided me with amazing mentors and really great experience.
And teaching the class, how did your students react to it? And what was the thrust of the class that you gave?
Well, the first term, and this term as well, I'm teaching the wines of Europe. So really a fairly in-depth exploration of both really classic, kind of iconic and world-renowned wines like, Northern Rhone and Bordeaux, but also really some of these hidden gems that I wish people were drinking more often, because I think they're incredible values and they're really wonderful to apply culinarily. And everybody in the class last term was incredible. It was just such a great group of people, really like-minded and interested in all the different things that are out there to enjoy. And really this term is the same. I've been surprised how willing people are to interact and share their tasting notes and their experience with the wine and where they're going to apply it in the coming week. And it's been fantastic.
When you tasted wines, everyone had a bottle and they each tasted and then commented on it?
Yes, so I provide the group with a sort of a tasting grid, so a methodology for how you want to approach a wine. You start with the what you see in the glass, then you move to the bouquet of the wine, and then you move on to actually tasting, right? And we all approach it together. So first we look at what we see in the glass, and I ask people to just participate and shout out whatever they're thinking, smelling, seeing, tasting. And it's been fantastic, because sometimes in person, people are a little intimidated to share what might come across to them in the glass. But I found that on Zoom, for whatever reason, people are a little more willing to share their opinions and their thoughts with the group.
Were you nervous when you started the class, and did that change as you went along?
Yes, I was nervous. In part because it's really hard to know without meeting a group of people how to approach a topic, in what depth, and people are coming with all different levels of knowledge and capability and experience in wine. And so you want to be able to reach everyone and expand everyone's knowledge without, performing essentially a galvage. And so it definitely was, the first, I think, probably 2 lectures of the first term took me a little while to gauge, but I'm really lucky because everyone who signed up for the class was so involved and invested and really made me feel good about what I was teaching. And I think I have definitely changed a little bit of my process since the first term.
So how have you found Zoom? Has it helped you to be a teacher?
I had never taught a class on Zoom before, so that was a new experience, but all in all, a really good positive experience. Being online allows you to sort of take down some barriers. So I have students who are joining from other states across the country, which is really fantastic. I was more intimidated by it before, but I actually think it can be a huge benefit. They can rewatch the class down the line. Perhaps if I taste 5 bottles in one evening, they don't want to open all 5, but they can revisit the course later and the tasting notes and kind of taste along with the group at a later date, which is a really nice benefit of Zoom, actually. I have reviewed every video recording of every lecture that I've given, in part because I want to make sure that I'm, one, providing the right content, but also because it's really interesting to see people's reactions. And I can kind of see a little bit down the line, oh, maybe I glazed over something that I really should have expanded upon. So it's been really helpful for me to be able to review the lectures.
Did technical problems get in the way at any time? Did everyone get on okay?
Yeah, I think everybody was able to join. We never had, a few folks had maybe spotty internet connections. This is the Northeast, so it's pretty wild up here. That does happen on occasion. But everybody was able to join. And again, the benefit of Zoom and the recorded class is that people can revisit the class later if they're unable to attend or if they, don't have an internet connection. So I don't think anybody missed out ultimately on anything. Although I will say, Zoom is fantastic, but it sort of tries to transcribe whatever the speaker is saying. And in wine, that does not work because all of these French words and, Italian producers and Spanish, it just doesn't equate. So.
Did you contact people to say, I'm giving this course, and then how did they find out about your course?
I think they found out through the course catalog. I didn't contact people. Wine is one of those kind of life skills, which might sound a little bit silly at the onset, but it's never not a benefit to be able to speak intelligently to something that people care about. It's a great way to forge connections, and I'm hoping that some of our graduated medical students will start signing up for Osher classes. I've got a few people I know who are interested for next year. When they have, I think they think they'll have more time on their hands. I don't know if that's actually accurate as residents, but yeah, so I didn't contact anybody, but I've had the class sold out fully both terms. So there seems to be interest.
Have you recommend Osher to others, or what have people spoken to in the class?
I think everybody's really, really just enjoying Osher. I think it's one of the rare ways that we can communicate and connect in what has really become a sort of very suddenly virtual world. And it's such a great community of people because everybody's really keen to learn whatever they're signed up to study that term. And that means they're participating, really fully and taking advantage of all of the knowledge there is in the group. And yeah, I could not recommend Osher enough. It's been a fantastic experience for me. It was the highlight of my fall. It's the highlight of my winter. So yeah, I would really encourage people to join.
Catherine, you have some tale you want to tell us or some story you want to tell us?
Well, I have to just say the Osher staff is incredible. They have provided unbelievable support, not just technologically speaking. They did wonderful trainings, which were really informative and helpful, and actually helped me in other realms as well as Osher classes. But they also it's this incredibly warm, engaging, positive community. And I feel really lucky to be a part of it. And I really, really appreciate the opportunity to connect with these incredible people because they're just, everyone I've met through Osher has been fantastic. It's it's been a joy for sure.